Family and true believers, I'm the advocate. Welcome back to Ready for Conversations.
We will, as human beings, always have differences. We need to learn to navigate through these differences. We need to learn to appreciate what the Almighty has bestowed upon us in terms of favor.
Brothers and sisters,
I just want to say, can we all get along?
brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
Today, we're taking on one of the most controversial conversations in America. Newly released audio from the Nolan Wells disappearance has reignited public interest in the tragic case. The recording captures a call made from a boat near Horn Island after the group reported mechanical problems and requested assistance because the vessel had allegedly taken on water. During the call, the dispatcher asked whether everyone was on board, and the caller responded where everyone was accounted for. That statement has become a major focus of public discussion because it appears to conflict with later accounts about when and how Nolan became separated from the group. Additional reports indicate that investigators have also reviewed newly released footage, while Nolan's family continues to question the timeline provided by others who were present. The family, represented by attorney Ben Crump, is seeking additional answers, and the investigation remains active. An independent autopsy lists the cause and manner of death as undetermined, pending further investigation, and a grand jury is expected to review the evidence. The video we're about to watch is courtesy of Poetic Flacco and the Evidence Room. Now let's get into this video.
This new evidence in this Nolan Wells murder is probably the biggest piece of confirmation that something really bad happened to Nolan. So Warren, who's one of Nolan Wells' supposed friends who rode out to Horn Island with him, he did an interview, and during this interview, he revealed something that kind of lines up everything else that we've heard since then. Now, what he says is a direct contradiction to everything they want us to believe about Nolan Wells.
Nolan was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl, and my buddy yelled for Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. The boat's having issues. And no, he didn't say that, but he was panicking. Nolan, get the F on the boat. Get on the boat. And Nolan said, no, I'm staying out here. I'm gonna ride in with somebody else. And it's not uncommon to hear, but it's not like my buddy asked him one time. My buddy asked Nolan multiple times to get on the boat. Nolan, get on the boat, get on the boat. We're leaving. If you're coming, you gotta come now. And Nolan made a decision to stay out on the island. It's not like we just left him there, or my friends just left him there. Nolan made a decision to stay on the island after my friends asked him multiple times and told him to get on the boat, and he decided to stay.
And I heard the girl that he was with, Katie, had text somebody that she heard people yelling for Nolan to get on it. Is that true?
And I have a picture of that. She texted my buddy, and the next day everybody was panicking and everybody's texting Katie, because she was obviously seen with Nolan the whole day at the island. Katie sent a message to my buddy the next day and said, this is the last time I saw him, he's really sweet. But she also mentioned that the last time she saw Nolan was when my buddy was yelling at him to get on the boat.
They're telling this story as if, by the way, it confirms their story. It's actually the contrary. Now, he said this before the audio got released, and the audio is horrific. The audio confirms to me something really bad happened to Nolan. But he said this as if this is a confirmation and not a debunking or contrary to his story. If you're saying, hey, we left Nolan on an island, we don't know what happened to him, and our proof of this is we see Nolan cradle up with Katie in his arms, and we was calling Nolan over to get on the boat, and Nolan said he's staying, and Katie can confirm this, and then Katie says, according to you guys, Katie confirmed to you guys, the last time she seen Nolan was when y'all was calling him over. Well, she wouldn't say that if Nolan stayed. If the last time Katie seen Nolan was when y'all was calling him over, that would imply that he went over to you guys. Katie even told the family that Nolan told her he was riding home with his friends and he had to go. Your very story confirms exactly what we suspected, which is Nolan went on that boat. Now, y'all called Nolan over at 3 p.m. Y'all was still on the island for an hour and 30.
Now that's very important. Pay attention to that timeline right there. That right there is the key. Well, one portion of the key to all of this right now, why no one believes what those kids are saying.
Trying to figure out that boat situation. So we don't know what took place in that hour and 30. But clearly something is not sitting right. And this audio made me lose sleep last night, man. Now, the audio is of the 911, well, not 911 call, but of the emergency call that Wyatt made to the boat operators or to some type of subscription that help people who are stranded on boats. So Wyatt made a call and the operator picks up, and my God, you start to hear something very dark and grim from the beginning.
Connected.
They don't realize the AI operator already started recording because they believe they're waiting for somebody to pick up. They believe they're on hold waiting for a human person to come and assist them. So they're talking freely, waiting for this human. The AI operator is recording everything. So that's where you hear, he's dead. Oh my God, he's dead.
Connected.
Detail assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey. They were not aware that was already being recorded. So they get to speaking freely. The operator picks up. Now everything changes. Everything changes. So they're panicking. Oh my God, no. Hey, operator. Everybody on mute. But they still let a couple things slip through. Now, what proceeds to follow is one of the strangest calls I've ever seen in life. This is one of the strangest calls I've ever witnessed in life. You've never seen anything stranger than this before.
We're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right, well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir?
I don't know the phone number. It's either Jerry Atkerson. I think it's Jerry Atkerson. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. Sure. I don't have the tag
unless
on
you
here.
have a membership number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
He's basically giving out the phone number, guys.
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How
on
many?
board.
Somebody says, I thought he was, and then it just like drowns out. So we don't know what that means. I could have 20,000 different theories. Y'all leave me a 3. What do you think that meant? This is where it starts to get really strange. The operator begins to ask very direct questions, and they begin to act like they don't know what she's saying. They begin to half-answer questions that are very convenient. Like, for example, she says, yo, is everybody on the boat and in good health? He says, yeah, everybody on the boat. Okay, what about the good health part? But that's not even the strangest part. It's about to get really, really weird.
This part right here blew my mind. This is the reason why I decided to make the video. When I watched this piece right here, smoking gun.
All right. Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
All right.
These aren't even the weird parts I'm talking about. You're gonna hear the weird parts shortly. But even with this, somebody is saying, check his chest. After we heard somebody says, yo, he's dead. Nolan, oh my God, Nolan, check his chest. The lady says, y'all want the Coast Guard? No, absolutely, no. That was the most hard, no Coast Guard. Why don't you want the Coast Guard out? And you're about to hear, like, the people that they wanted to come out, they're unavailable. So the next best people are the Coast Guards. But they must rather drown than to have the Coast Guards come out. Because the people they want to come out don't really have authority in anything. The Coast Guards are damn near law enforcement. The Coast Guards will come out and get to investigate and get to prowling around. No, why don't you want the Coast Guards out? If the people who are supposed to assist you can't even come out. But at the end, you get to hear they called for no reason.
That's what the Coast Guard do, guys. That's their whole purpose in life. You know, you hear about them with the drug smuggling situation, but they also are rescue and assist. That's what they do. That's what the United States Coast Guard is mostly about, rescue and assist. So when they ask, do you need a Coast Guard? That's the logical answer right there. But it should be yes, you know, but we'll continue on.
Right? Because his grandfather would admit, hey, we don't need help anymore, sorry. So they wasted about 14 or 15 minutes on that phone call, I think trying to establish an alibi, because towards the end of the phone call, after they were begging for help, the grandfather says, oh no, they don't need help, don't send nobody.
All right, looks like you're on Horn Island, correct? Are you
Yes,
on
we are
Horn
at
Island?
Yes.
All right, is the boat sinking or you have it aground?
We were sinking, yes.
Is it aground is the question?
No, we're not aground. We are in 17 foot of water. We're in 31 foot of water.
All right, have to ask. What do you want to do? Do you want to be towed back?
I want to get this boat unsank and towed back, yes.
All right, where would you like it towed to, sir?
You can tow it to Ocean Springs or Fort Bayou launch.
All right, how many adults and children on board?
No, there's no children.
So, is there anybody on board? How many adults, sir? That was the question.
You're about to hear an answer to that question that will make your mouth drop on the floor. It will literally make your mouth drop on the floor. Because, hold on. You answered the children question very quickly. How many adults and children? No children. Okay, how many adults? They begin to hesitate. They begin to panic. They're panicking so much, he says something just absolutely stupid. But I don't think this kid is dumb. I feel like what he said is out of sheer panic because he didn't want to share the real number.
Oh, is there anybody on board? How many adults, sir? That was the question.
Hey,
Hello, can you hear me?
Mind you, it's not a service issue because we can hear everybody else in the background. So it's not a service issue. Oh no, he hears exactly what she said. How many adults on board? He doesn't say nothing for a while, and then he responds back with the dumbest possible answer.
Oh, is there anybody?
Now, this is just me, allegedly speculative, all right? When she asked that question, he said, what should I say? What should I say? Okay. That's allegedly speculative. Just speculating.
Anybody on board? How many adults, sir? That was the question.
Hey,
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, you're
Gotta
fine.
jump in and pull the plug, Bart, while you're going.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yep, I just need you to answer these questions so I can get you over to the captain.
Okay.
How many
what's
adults
going
on board?
There's 0 adults on board.
There's nobody on board the boat?
No. Nobody
right.
here is over the age of 21.
There's not a person in America. There's not a person in America, probably not a person on planet Earth, who don't know what an adult is. An adult is anybody over the age of 18 in America. Simple. That's what an adult is. So the fact that she asked you, how many adults on board? Oh no, there's nobody over the age of 21 on board. That's because you are avoiding and refusing. You don't want to answer the question, bruh. You don't want to answer the question. Because Nolan is what, 19? Everybody on board is like 18, 19. So you are doing everything in your power to not answer the question. Looks like your girl asking you, hey, bruh, did you go out last night and cheat? Man, I went out last night. Well, did you cheat? I ain't cheat on my diet all week. Huh? Wait, what? That's not right. No, you're answering this question being deceptive. It's really that simple. And I'm looking at this like, yo, why is it whenever something comes out, it's always something sketchy with it? Now, I understand if we're just being super analytical, super looking into it, but even the person who's like completely in the middle and neutral and not biased, can you hear this call and tell me this is a normal call? Can you hear this call and tell me people are not being deceptive in this call? Can you hear this call and tell me this is how normal people answer questions? How many adults on board? None. Huh? What? Whoa, nobody on board? Nobody over 21 on board? Can you just answer the question they're asking? Oh, but it gets worse. It gets worse.
Adults on board.
There are 0 adults on board.
There's nobody on board the boat?
No. Nobody
right.
here is over the age of 21.
Sir, that was not the question. Is there a person? Is there a person, a living individual on the boat?
Hello?
Bro, you heard what she said, bruh. If you can respond, you heard it. And it's not like the service went out. No, because we're hearing the background. If we can hear the background, then you can hear her. If we can hear the background, then we could have heard you. So you're not saying anything. Man, you heard her, bruh. The question caught him off guard. Is there any living person on board? He probably felt like, next question did probably ask us, is there any dead person on board? So that question caught them off guard. And I'm sitting back like, yo, what went on? Because we heard from multiple people. We heard from, there was a fight of some sort. Now, they're all claiming Nolan was not a part of this fight, but they all said the fight is why they wanted to leave in a hurry. They began to pack up and leave. They said immediately after the fight is what made them want to leave. I don't believe that fight did not involve Nolan, man. I'm telling you guys right now, I just don't believe it, bro. Now, if a fight occurred on the boat, wouldn't that be the reason why the pump is destroyed? That's just my theory. I don't know.
Not necessarily, okay? When the bilge pump is just where it's at. It's in the bilge. It's at the bottom of the ship. So that portion right there, I don't believe in, that it was destroyed because they was fighting. No, because the bilge pump is located near the bottom of the ship. That you got I'm pretty sure you've seen a boat before. You got a top deck, and then you got underneath at the bottom, and that's where the bilge pump will be at, depending on what type of boat it is. Okay, now if it's one that with the hatch in the back where the pump is located, then okay, plausible. We're just gonna say plausible because there's certain scenarios and situations. I'm not familiar with that particular type of vessel, but I just say plausible on that answer. All right.
But we don't have to have the answers. We are not the ones that was there. All we can say is something isn't adding up, and we need answers. Now, he eventually gives a head count, and he says 7.
Is there a living person, someone breathing on the boat? Is there anybody on the boat?
Yes, there's lots of people breathing on the boat.
All right, how many people, sir?
Like 7.
All right, thank you. Does everyone have life jackets on or available to them?
Yes, we have life jackets.
Sound like to me that there was 7 people on the boat, but 6 are breathing. Just saying. Allegedly.
Available.
All right, verify what boat's sinking.
A Triton, 22-foot offshore 22-foot Triton offshore sea flight hull.
All right. All right. Please hold. I'm transferring you to the local captain now.
Okay, thank you. This is Captain Seth.
Hi, Captain Seth. This is Vicky from International. How you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, good. I apologize ahead of time. I really do. You're going to have a fee-for-service come up under Jerry.
Okay.
It sounds like a bunch of kids on board on Horn Island. He's letting me know that his father's a member, but he can't give me any information. And he's saying the boat is sinking. And he's on Horn Island. It's just unfortunate. He's just a kid. There's a lot going on. So
Right.
he said there's about a lot of people on board. He says he thinks about 7. I'm guessing they're all under 18.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to be rude. He wants you guys to go out there and unpump the boat and then tow it in.
Do you know what kind of boat it is?
He said a Triton 24-footer, but that's all he can give me.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just actually got off the phone with his grandpa, who I'm guessing is the owner of the boat. And
Is it
he
Jerry?
said that yeah, Jerry. Yeah, he said,
Okay.
I just hung up with him. He said that they don't need any help right now, but if something changes, he'll call me back.
So what was the purpose of them? What was the purpose of them calling then? If they're in the middle of an active emergency, the grandfather is not on the island. The grandfather is not there. They told the grandfather what's going on. The grandfather says, man, y'all better not bring any authorities over there. So then what was the purpose of this call? Why were they on the phone for so long, quote unquote, asking for help, but not answering any questions to get them help? But the grandfather is talking to the actual people and they said, man, like don't need help, bro. Like, you good. That's not strange to y'all? You don't want the answers to that? See, they've done multiple interviews and they've answered every question in the book about Nolan's race, about the parents, about Benjamin Crump, but they don't answer the pivotal question, which is, why is everything so sketchy and sus and strange when it comes to you guys? Why can't y'all just give us straight up answers? Y'all ain't answering questions about this though, but y'all gonna answer questions about, well, did you know Nolan Wells was 25% Asian? What does that matter?
Now here is what we can confirm and what we cannot. Laux obtained this version directly from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. The background commotion is real, and Laux reported it specifically. What people believe they are hearing in that commotion, a voice saying Nolan followed by oh my God, has not been confirmed by Laux, by NBC, by TMZ, or by any outlet that has had direct access to this recording and reported on it in detail. None of them confirm the specific language. That absence of confirmation from every outlet that examined this audio closely is the most important piece of context surrounding it right now. What is confirmed without any interpretation at all is already significant. Someone on that call said everybody on board is in good health. Nolan Wells was not on board. That statement exists on a time-stamped recorded line. It cannot be walked back. And it sits alongside GPS data from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, showing the boat made 3 separate movements after returning to shore that evening that nobody in that friend group has publicly explained. Into Fort Bayou at 5:52, back to the dock at 6:06, out again at 6:36, looping towards St. Martin Bayou before final retrieval at 7:19. Nearly 3 hours of documented movement for what was described as a direct trip home. That is a government record, not a disputed audio clip, not a contested witness account. A machine record of where that vessel physically was at specific documented times on the evening of July 4th. Now here is the political development this week that deserves as much attention as the audio and has received far less. Governor Tate Reeves broke 4 weeks of public silence on this case. 4 weeks during which a death investigation involving an 18-year-old generated national headlines out of his own state, during which an independent pathologist documented a 12 by 8-inch area of unexplained discoloration at the back of Nolan's head and said he cannot rule out foul play. The day after that pathologist made that statement, Reeves chose to speak. Not about the autopsy finding, not about the Fort Bayou movements, not about the phone inspection that still has not happened. He pointed at Ben Crump and Reverend Al Sharpton and said they are to blame for the threats surrounding this case, accusing them of stoking division for personal gain. Now I want to be precise about what that means and what it does not. The threats are real. The FBI confirmed it is investigating interstate threats made against people connected to this case. Mississippi's own Department of Public Safety Commissioner confirmed the FBI is investigating threats against public officials, potential witnesses, and against Nolan's own mother, Christine. Anyone sending those threats is committing a serious federal crime. But placing responsibility for those threats on the people advocating for Nolan's family, rather than on whoever is actually sending them, is a specific choice. And as of this reporting, no investigator, no law enforcement statement, and no part of the FBI's own confirmed statement has linked either Crump or Sharpton to the threats being investigated. The governor made an accusation that the authorities actually running the threat investigation have not backed up, and he made it the day after the most significant medical finding this case has produced. That sequence is the story, not just the statement. The same week, the DA finally addressed the pace of this investigation directly. Angel Myers-Myrath said her office is restricted from discussing evidence publicly to protect the integrity of the grand jury process. She said when people ask, have they looked at this or thought about that, the answer is yes. Those are the same questions investigators ask. The difference is we cannot discuss what those efforts have uncovered while the investigation is underway. That is a real procedural explanation from the person actually running this investigation. It deserves significantly more weight than a governor's political statement made the day after an autopsy raised foul play questions. Now let me bring in the judicial ethics situation, because it is more concrete than the governor's comments.
Pay attention. This is very crucial to the flip, the turn, okay? A lot of people understand what I mean by that when I say the flip and the turn, so watch this.
And it does not rest on political framing. It rests on public statements a sitting judge made herself under her own name. Ashley Cole is a Chancery judge for District 16-2 in Mississippi. Her son Warren Hudson was with Nolan on Horn Island the day he disappeared. Weeks into this case, as online speculation was accelerating, Cole posted a lengthy public statement explicitly identifying herself as a judge, laying out a timeline of that day, defending her son's account, and stating that no one in her family was impeding the investigation. Here is why that post created a real separate problem, regardless of whether anything she said was true. Judges operate under a code of judicial conduct that restricts them from commenting publicly on active investigations. Because the public needs to trust that a judge's institutional authority and a private citizen's personal opinions stay clearly separated. Cole has no official legal role in this case, but she invoked the specific credibility of being a judge, writing "Yes, I am a judge" directly into a post defending her son in a matter tied to an active death investigation. That combination is exactly what judicial ethics rules exist to prevent. A formal petition has now been filed with Mississippi's Commission on Judicial Performance, asking for a full investigation into whether Cole's conduct violated the state's Code of Judicial Conduct, and requesting that the commission consider discipline up to and including removal from the bench. Cole has responded by acknowledging being a judge, saying she values transparency, and noting that she and Christine Wells graduated from the same high school. Her framing has been that she was trying to correct rumors with facts, not interfere with anything. Here is the honest assessment. Did her public statements create a legitimate judicial ethics concern? That is a fair, serious question now sitting with the body that has actual authority to answer it. Does that ethics concern tell us anything about what happened to Nolan Wells? It does not. A judge speaking publicly when she probably should not have is a real problem with a real process now underway to address it. It is not on its own evidence of anything beyond what has already been documented. Now let me address the viral video making the most serious accusation anyone has leveled in this entire case, because it deserves direct, honest handling rather than either dismissal or repetition. The video states as a known fact that Nolan's friends brought his body back on their boat and staged his drowning. It lists out potential criminal charges: murder, manslaughter, accessory after the fact, obstruction, evidence tampering, and it directly accuses Judge Cole of using her position to interfere with the investigation. The specific claim at the center of it, that you can hear someone in the background asking if Nolan is dead, has not been confirmed by Locks, not by NBC, not by TMZ, not by any outlet that has had access to that same audio and reported on it in detail. Millions of people have watched this video. We checked the central claim against every outlet that examined the same recording. It does not hold up as a confirmed finding. It is also worth naming something specific about the framework this video uses. It takes Warren Hudson's detailed technical explanation of the boat's mechanical problems and argues that the level of detail itself is suspicious, built on the idea that when people lie, they give deep, irrelevant explanations. Think about what that framework actually does. It turns any possible answer into evidence of guilt. A vague answer looks evasive. A detailed answer looks rehearsed. There is no version of explaining what happened to that boat that this specific framework would ever accept as innocent. That is not analysis. That is a structure built to make every possible response look incriminating, regardless of what actually happened. The video also uses a phrase worth flagging because you will encounter it again. I am not saying he did it, but I am not saying he did not. That is not a neutral statement, whatever it sounds like. It is a way of making a serious accusation while technically avoiding responsibility for having made one. Naming that move is not defending anyone in this case. It is recognizing a technique so you can evaluate claims more accurately. Now here is the timeline discrepancy that has circulated as a contradiction and why it mostly resolves when you run the actual numbers. The claim is that news reports describe the tow call as happening around 4 p.m., but the GPS shows the boat did not leave Horn Island until 4:31. If the call happened before departure, Nolan should still have been with the group when the emergency began. Here is what the GPS data actually shows. The boat sat stationary at Horn Island from roughly 11:15 that morning until approximately 4:30. Then between 4:31 and 5:24 it moved slowly, between half a knot and 4 knots, covering less than 3 miles across nearly a full hour. It did not reach normal boating speed until 5:25. The call runs roughly 8 minutes, and the caller describes being in deep water with the boat still struggling to move. That description fits almost perfectly inside the slow window between 4:31 and 5:24. A roughly 4 p.m. estimate reported secondhand by outlets not working from the raw GPS file is an approximation that sits comfortably within the normal rounding range for a call that most likely began right when the boat first started moving. The honest conclusion is less dramatic than either side of the online argument wants. There is not a real contradiction once you match the confirmed GPS timestamps to the confirmed length of the call. What looks like 2 conflicting timelines is actually one consistent one when you treat the 4 p.m. estimate as what it actually is. An approximation, not a precise competing data point. Getting that right matters for a specific reason. Getting the verified parts right is how we protect the rest of this case. Every confirmed, documented fact gets harder to take seriously when it is surrounded by unverified claims presented as established truth. The Fort Bayou movements are real. The missing neck structures from the independent autopsy are real. The phone inspection that still has not happened is real. None of that gets protected by repeating a timeline claim that does not survive basic numerical scrutiny. Okay, so let me bring every thread together and state plainly where this case actually stands after everything this week produced. 4 things happened. A governor broke his silence and used it to blame the family's legal team the day after an autopsy raised foul play questions. A judicial ethics petition moved from online chatter to a formal filing with an actual oversight body. A viral video made the most serious accusation anyone has leveled in this case, built on a claim that does not survive scrutiny against every outlet that examined the same audio. And a timeline discrepancy resolved itself when you actually ran the numbers correctly. None of those 4 things tell us what happened to Nolan Wells. What they tell us is exactly which parts of this case are documented and which parts are confident guesses wearing the language of certainty. The Fort Bayou thread is the one that survived everything this week produced completely intact. 3 documented post-doc movements through multiple specific locations across nearly 3 hours, recorded automatically by a government agency with no stake in this case. Not a disputed audio interpretation. Not a second-hand account. A machine record of where that vessel physically was at specific documented times on the evening of July 4th. And as of this update, not one person in that friend group has offered a detailed public explanation for those specific movements on the record. A grand jury with subpoena power can compel testimony about those movements from every person who was on that boat, under oath. with the GPS record sitting in front of them as a fixed objective reference that their testimony either explains or fails to explain. That is a fundamentally different kind of accountability than a viral video or a political statement. And it is exactly the kind of accountability this specific documented thread most urgently requires. The phone inspection agreed to by both sides still has not taken place. The toxicology from both the state and the independent examination is still pending. The neck structures the state retained before the independent autopsy arrived are still in the possession of Mississippi's medical examiner, and the independent pathologist who found a 12 by 8-inch area of unexplained discoloration at the back of Nolan's head still cannot complete his examination until he is given access to what the state is holding.
All right. Excuse me, I'm getting over a little cold, so that's why you guys heard me coughing a little bit. I apologize for that. But so far, that's all the information that we have, that we gathered, and it's looking very obvious of what happened. But like I said before, it's ongoing investigation. So we're just gonna leave it at that right there. But keep in mind, the most important thing is that we can agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Please keep the discussion respectful. Personal attacks, racial slurs, threats, and hateful language will not be tolerated. If you appreciate fact-based discussion of current events, civil rights, and issues affecting the community, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share Ready for Conversations. And as always, be heard, be informed, and always be ready to put in some work.
Means necessary.
I have a dream.
Too black, too strong.
One day, this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.